You chose absolutely right tuning in to Rwanda Television tonight. Good evening and welcome to our edition. This is what is coming up. President Paul Kagame has reiterated the role of women in the liberation and the rebuilding of Rwanda, plus the effects of bad governance on the African continent. Residents have called on the government to look into the issue of multiplied seeds that do not generate a desired produce. I take a great privilege having your company tonight and coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Sam Kadisa. As we begin our tonight's edition on the local scene, in the 7th edition of the Future Investment Initiative, FII, President Paul Kagame reiterated on the role of women in the liberation of the country and rebuilding Rwanda, plus the effect of bad governance on the African continent, which are mostly caused by former colonizers of this particular continent. Adam Squizera starts us off tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda.
On the panel discussion that was moderated by the Chief Executive Officer of the Future Investment Initiatives, Richard Atias, President Paul Kagame pointed out on how it is not clear that there can be someone who still underestimates the value of women.
52% of our population is women. So you can imagine what would happen in one's country if we exclude the 52%. I mean, you're just doing harm to yourself. The second is women have rights too. They're just human beings like all of us. In fact, we are lucky we are born to women, all of us. It is a woman in everyone's life. There's no question about it. So how can you, at a certain point, forget the existence of the very people who bring us to existence? And for us, part of our history with the struggle, in fact, women did participate directly in the struggle to be able to achieve back our country, which we had lost for many decades. Some of us were refugees for so many years outside of our country. So, based on that basic fact, you know that women are very important, and therefore, not only investing in them, but giving them space to participate and do the things they can do with the rest of us, with the men, then it's the country to gain, it's everybody to gain. So that is our thinking, and it has proven us right. I think wherever they have tried it, it has been proven right as well.
People are scared about the, I would say, lack of stability.
Regarding to bad governance and corruption in some African countries, on this point, President Paul Kagame criticized the role of various countries that colonized this continent back in the 20th century.
This bad governance and coups are not confined to Africa. In fact, they have association with the interaction of the rest of the world, particularly those countries that, as of origin, as we know, who were either the colonizers of this Africa. So first of all, was colonization a good thing? But it happened. And even after colonial times, actually the sort of relationship between those who were colonized with the colonizers stayed in a different form and stayed affecting the people of the continent. One example is the incredible amount of control those people still exercise in the continent. You find those coups or bad governance happening on the watch of the very people who colonized those countries and still working with them as if nothing is happening. when things go wrong, of course, you are right to blame the Africans. I think for me, I would blame them for having allowed it in the first place. Having allowed that people from outside should come to any country, to Africa, and start telling people what to do, what not to do, and when things go wrong, they just jump the ship and start blaming the very people they told to do what they did and later on backfired.
What is needed to be a leader?
On this panel discussion, President Paul Kagame was also asked on the secret behind his visionary leadership and on what it takes for a country to have such good governance.
Leadership is about doing what makes sense to the leader, but more importantly, to the people we lead. So if we keep fixed on that and not just telling stories that don't amount to anything, I think we should be more practical, more pragmatic, and focused on performance and results and how we benefit people than anything else, in my opinion. I think that's what we have tried to do in different ways. And you can see it in the results. In the end, the results prove it. It's not that there is a good leader, but then, unfortunately, things don't happen, and so on. So maybe something else needs to be done or looked at. So being a good leader isn't very easy to define, but it's about what you do and with the people and the results, and you are able to see a significant way forward.
Mr. President, thank you very much for being with us.
President Paul Kagame is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where he joined world leaders for the 7th edition of the Future Investment Initiative. The meeting discussed on the impact of global dialogue in navigating today's uncertain times. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente is currently in Brussels, Belgium, where he is attending the opening ceremony of the Global Gateway Forum 2023. He is representing President Paul Kagame during this particular forum. The event commenced on Wednesday, October 25th, and is expected to conclude on October 26th. The gathering brings together the forum's member states together with heads of state and governments from various countries, the private sector and financial institutions to discuss investment policies and opportunities. Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente highlighted Rwanda's journey in promoting the sector, which is in line with the country's quest to create a knowledge-based economy.
Has been actively promoting also research and innovation initiatives. In 2018, we launched the National Research and Innovation Fund. This fund serves as a major funding vehicle for research and research-based innovation activities. At the same time, Rwanda has been promoting public-private partnerships that provide young innovators and entrepreneurs with appropriate financing, support, and mentoring. For example, Rwanda, in partnership with the world-class universities and research institutions from across the globe, we have some of which have been opened. They have opened their campuses and centers in Rwanda.
Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente further emphasized the importance of collaboration between countries and organizations in addressing emerging global issues towards a common sustainable development. On education, Prime Minister Ngirente enlightened participants on Rwanda's efforts to build a quality education system right from early childhood. The Global Gateway represents the European Union's efforts to reduce worldwide investment disparity and boost a smart, clean, and secure connections in digital, energy, and transport sectors, as well as strengthen health, education, and research systems. And now moving ahead, residents have called on the government to look into the issue of multiplied seeds that do not generate desired produce. Without concrete measures and action, this issue could hinder the government's target of becoming food sufficient and increasing the agricultural productivity.
It has been a while since farmers across the country have been complaining out of the loss they faced due to the dormant seeds that they were given. In this 2023-2024 agricultural season, some of the residents of Musanze and Gatenye used those multiplier seeds, but till now it has completely failed to grow. We planted maize seeds. I remember this very well. It was on Wednesday. Until now, it has failed under the ground. We don't even have any hope for them to grow. Yet we don't even know who to be accountable for that loss. Currently, there are more than 900 seed multipliers in Rwanda. Safari Jambosco, the director of Tri-Seeds company, which multiplies various seeds, including maize, beans, and soybeans, noted that the problem of unproductive seeds was mainly caused by the brokers who delivers low-quality seeds. In the beginning, it was highly participated by many people. But now what we are going to do is to inspect if those participants are qualified to be the certified multipliers. What we need from them is to deliver quality things. Innocent Namuhoranye, the Director General of the Association of the Farmers and Traders of Fruits in Rwanda, says that a farmer who will be given seeds by a certain company and it fails to grow without any cause based on climate change, the farmer will be given the right to take that company to court in order to hold accountable on that loss. The Director General of Rwanda Agriculture Board, Dr. Patrick Kalango, pointed out that the government will continue to work closely with the private sector that has invested in seed production so that at least in 2030, Rwandans who use multiplied seeds will reach to 100%.
umuntu ushobora kubaka nta gihugu gishobora kubaka urwego rw'imbuto mu gihugu hatabaye ubufatanye bukomeye hagati ya leta n'abikorera.
There can't be no any country that can develop the agriculture sector without any partnership with private sector. It is uniformly worldwide. Then what we want is to produce the seed that serves the local and international market as well.
Nziza yishimiwe kandi inareba isoko ryagutse utareba irya hano gusa ahubwo
From 2018, Rwanda began the trial of multiplying their own seeds in order to reduce the amount of the imported seeds, which costed the government high amount of money. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Participants at an ongoing 5-day international workshop on fighting the use of plastic and other harmful substances that damage the environment have commended the progress Rwanda has made in this respect and vowed to help their own countries make similar achievements. We have more. Taking place in Kigali and organized by the Rwanda Polytechnic, the workshop has brought together participants from 16 countries in Rwanda to learn how the country was able to ban the use of single plastics and other harmful substances to the environment.
It has been a great journey and it has been a great effort put into this. It is not easy. It is not easy. So many countries have tried it, but it's not easy. The transformation will take time, but as Rwanda has arrived in that area where we have got almost zero plastic on the street of Kigali, I hope so that my country, sooner or later, will also achieve a clean Sierra Leone.
The gathering is meant to assess how other countries around the world can emulate Rwanda's success. We coordinated with UNDP to be able to gather and discuss the problems caused by single-use plastics, but also in preparation for the upcoming negotiations during this week with other countries so that a comprehensive international agreement can be reached on fighting the environmental damage caused by plastics. We are looking at the challenges in those countries, and they decided to meet in Rwanda because of the progress we have made. The workshop is also discussing how the recycling of plastics is an industry with a lot of employment opportunities.
UNDP has been a partner of choice for the government of Rwanda in eliminating plastics. We have been working on ensuring that the capacities that are needed are available in order to do that. One of the things we did was we are supporting youth who are creating businesses that are using plastic waste to generate economic products. That is something we can do. That is something that is not only eliminating plastics from our life, from our streets, but also creating jobs for future generations.
The international workshop is seeking to forge a unified front in the drive to reduce the use of plastics and boost cooperation between developing countries in this respect through NGOs, academicians and UNDP. Rwanda's Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning has urged the country's accountants to ensure that they are to date with the latest technology in their profession. This while the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Rwanda has continued to provide training to accountants so that they may become certified. On Wednesday, ICPAR marked the 15th year anniversary, and the institution's leadership is also calling on all certified accountants to make sure that they are throughout conversant with the technology associated with their profession.
We can say the environment in which we operate as the accounting profession has undergone through tremendous change. Firstly, because of improvements in technology. There's been changing in technology, there have been changes into the various regulatory and compliance regimes. Then we've also had a lot of other things that have made this world to change, things like climate change and so on. So it means that we need to prepare our accountants so that they can be able to deal with those critical issues. Us as ICPA, we've done our responsibility. We've created a qualification. We've created qualifications, rather the CAT, the CPA qualifications that are internationally recognized and that are locally relevant. So that is our first contribution, and we are now developing learning materials, and we are making sure that we start offering like computer-based examinations. We start, developing integrated learning management systems where people can be able to study from wherever they are at any time, so that they are not restricted by the geographical location, or they are not restricted by time. So that's what we are doing. But of course, it is not only the work of ICPA to produce those 9,000. We have various stakeholders who also have to play a role. We have government on the one side, and the government through the Ministry of Finance. They have also done a wonderful job. They are sponsoring public servants to undertake these professional qualifications. So imagine if these people were being sponsored and they can be able to undergo the CPA qualification. It means those numbers, within 5 to 10 years, we could be having all these people around, and these people can be able to help our businesses. They can be able to help our economy to grow. Because when you look at the pace of the Rwandan economy, look at just the government budget. From in the last 10 years and now, it has really risen up very quickly. When you look at the GDP, the same. So it means also the pace at which we are producing these professional accountants should also be at the same magnitude. It means that if you have the low number of people who are qualified within the country, it means firstly you're denying the businesses the opportunity of having the best people who could have been giving them the advice, who could be giving them the services, so that they can be able to grow and they can be able to meet the objectives.
Rwanda currently has 992 certified accountants, with a goal of raising the number to 10,000 over the next decade. And moving ahead to other matters, on Wednesday in Gasabo district in Luba sector, the Rwanda National Police disposed the substandard alcoholic beverages that were being produced secretly and placed in the market illegally. The Rwanda National Police urges Rwandans to carefully check for quality of the alcohol beverages they consume, and to report on time any illegal activity that they may get to know that is being done in the processing of these particular beverages. We have the details with Odimnete.
The illegal alcoholic beverages disposed of are 27 tons, which is worth more than 42 million Rwandan francs. Activities of producing these beverages were carried out in the economic free zone, but it was done secretly and using brands of other companies that are already working in a legal way, so that these beverages can be sold at the market. Damour Niyitegeka, who is suspected of making these substandard alcoholic beverages, say he has been doing these activities for about 2 months. He urges those who do similar activities to stop, since it is harmful to the public.
I
urge everyone who is still planning to do it or who is doing this to stop it now. I know the consequences of doing such activities. It caused me a great loss, and it is also harmful to the health of the people in general.
Superintendent of Police Twajamahoro Sylvestre, the police spokesperson for the city of Kigali, points out that all beverages that are of substandard quality are considered narcotic drugs.
All of these products were caught at different times in Gasabo district. We found it in a factory that was operating illegally, but today we disposed the products off the market. So all substandard beverages in Rwanda are considered as narcotic drugs as predicted by the decree of the Ministry of Health, which determines the list of drugs and their categories.
He also urges Rwandans to carefully check the quality of the alcoholic beverages they buy and to cooperate with the police if they become aware of such activities.
We urge them to carefully check the standards mark because they are known and visible, but we are also working on awareness campaigns on how to recognize and differentiate these marks, as these alcohols were seized in collaboration with the citizens who gave us information, the police, and were doing the work to arrest them, and we ask them to continue to provide information on time and be self-disciplined and refrain from using such products because it leads to other various crimes.
Article 263 about carrying out acts related to the use of simple narcotic drugs, imprisonment is for a term of not less than 7 years and not more than 10 years, and a fine of not less than 5 million Rwandan francs and less than 10 million Rwandan francs.
And that was it from us here at Rwanda Television. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, many thanks for keeping us company on this edition. Up until next time, stay safe and have a great evening.